machin chouette qui paraissait si imposant et si puissant, il y a encore un instant, ne ressemble plus qu'à une brute lente d'esprit à vos yeux. Les démons et les défenseurs de la citadelle ne sont qu'une bande de pauvres enfants écervelés qui ne voient pas plus loin que le bout de leur nez. Votre cœur s'emplit de compassion pour eux. Peut-être pas jusque-là. Lorsque la douce lueur de vos écailles les touche et les imprègne de sa chaleur réconfortante, ils comprennent qu'il n'est plus nécessaire de se battre. Les combats n'ont aucun sens. La vie, dans chacun de ces instants, est le plus grand des miracles. Ce qui compte avant tout, c'est de la préserver et de profiter de chaque jour de l'existence. Certains des démons hésitent brièvement, puis ils partent, en se demandant ce qu'ils font ici et ce qui a bien pu les pousser à prendre part à ce combat. Cependant d'autres trop en colère, d'autres ont en eux trop de colère pour battre en retraite. Vous savez qu'ils ne sont pas de taille face à un dragon d'or et que leur regrettable décision les condamne à mort. Eh bien, s'ils veulent un combat, ils l'auront. Alors que c'est la bannière seulement qui les empêchait de se téléporter, c'est ça? Wouah! Si ça c'était pas du one shot. Où elles sont celles-là? Un lourd silence s'abat soudainement sur la ville, brisé par une fanfare solennelle et tonitruante qui semble venir de partout et de nulle part, à la fois. Tous les regards se tournent vers le gigantesque vitrail de la grande cathédrale qui se met à rayonner d'une douce lumière. Un instant après, une silhouette se détache du vitrail et atterrit avec légèreté sur les pavés de Drézen.
Knight Commander, at last we meet.
Diomédae. Maintenant que je sais que c'est pas toi qui m'a filé le pouvoir, je vais pas m'agenouiller, c'est mort. Impossible de se tromper, il ne peut s'agir que Diomédae elle-même, qui semble avoir daigné rejoindre le monde des mortels. Aveuglés par sa radiance, vos compagnons tentent de se protéger les yeux. Alors que les démons survivants tremblent de terreur, les citadins tombent à genoux, comme en extase. Malgré tout, le regard de la déesse est fixé sur vous et sur vous seul. Vous salue lumière de l'épée. Ça alors, regardez tous, une déesse. Les dieux n'ont pas pour habitude de fouler notre monde. À mort. Faire un geste obscène, un doigt d'honneur, j'imagine. On va pas s'agenouiller. Ça aurait été Diomédae. En fait, j'aurais été un paladin Diomédae, tu vois, genre roleplay, j'aurais à genoux machin. Mais on est un dragon d'or. Et ouais, je vous salue, lumière de l'épée.
And I greet you, Knight Commander. I suppose you're asking yourself why I am here. Gods must not interfere directly in the affairs of mortals. But what is happening here, in the world wound, is no longer the concern of mortals alone. And this is proof. This fortress has witnessed so many horrors and miracles. It makes me wonder how it still stands.
Grâce à moi.
I know how much light and hope you have brought to the Crusaders. Your achievements are indisputable. But during all that time, your followers believed that their leader was heaven's chosen. This is a bitter lie. And goodness and justice cannot be based on lies.
Donc si j'avais choisi Lumière du Paradis, ça aurait été bon, c'est ça? En même temps, j'ai jamais dit que j'étais l'élu du paradis.
The path you chose to defend Drézen, I cannot accept it. Demons are an evil that have brought immeasurable suffering to this world, and yet you gave them a choice? When they corrupt and destroy, they do not give anyone the benefit of choice. They do not deserve mercy. Your power is great, But it will be no good for Golarion if you continue to let its enemies run free.
Non, je suis pas d'accord. Arushelae est un exemple. Et puis en même temps, nous ne sommes pas eux, hein. La preuve, regarde, je leur donne le choix, alors qu'eux, ils le font pas.
But I did not come here to reproach you, or to bewail the fate of the unfortunate defenders of Drézen.
Et pourtant, c'est ce que tu viens de faire.
I wish to stop the forces of evil and defend Golarion, both from Dascari's violent rage and from Nocticula's insidiousness. But that is not my only goal. I have come here to restore justice, for justice is the birthright of all. That's why I hail you as a hero who has triumphed over the demons many times. At the same time, I grieve for you, as for a soul that is caught in a web of demonic deceit and villainy.
J'ai bien envie de lui dire ça, ma croisade a accompli bien plus que toutes les autres ces 100 dernières années. Si vous comptez me critiquer pour avoir utilisé mes pouvoirs, vous ferez bien d'y réfléchir à 2 fois, ma grande. Votre sollicitude me fait chaud au cœur et maintenant, si vous m'excusiez la véritable raison de votre visite. La source de mes pouvoirs est peut-être douteuse, mais je suis mon propre chemin. Vous avez raison, mais que puis-je y faire? Non, on va lui dire, votre sollicitude me fait chaud au cœur, et maintenant, si vous m'exposiez la véritable raison de votre... Parce que... depuis le départ, t'es jamais venu. La bannière est arrivée, c'est la héritière qui a débarqué, pas toi. Donc c'est ton souffrifre, hein, ou ton bras droit, t'appelles ça comme tu veux, ou ta main droite. Mais voilà. Hein. Donc merci, hein. T'inquiète, etc. Mais t'as rien foutu pour moi. Voilà les 3.
My reasons are as I have told you. I am no demon. I do not lie and cheat. Of that sin I am most certainly innocent. In that moment, when my poor herald was being torn apart by monsters, he found the strength to send me a message about what he had learned in the abyss. You were in Illusionera, where you spoke with the Lady in Shadow and the Architect of the World Wound. They confessed what they had done to you, but they did not reveal the whole truth. Both you and this unfortunate world will have to pay dearly for the power that they so generously bestowed upon you. But all is not yet lost. That is why I have come.
De nouveau, les remparts de Drézen sont agités de secousses et soudain, une ombre riant aux éclats apparaît devant la déesse resplendissante. Il s'agit de Nocticula en personne, accompagné par Harry Warlesh, qui fixe Iomédae d'un regard glacial.
Who here has been taking my name in vain? Ah, it's you, the inheritor. What's this? Our worst fears have come to pass. The gods are flocking to Golarion. This merry little tinderbox could ignite at any moment, reducing the material plane to dust.
I did not come here to fight.
Hey, Superwoman.
Oh, really? I didn't realize you were good for anything else. Forgive me, that was unfair of me. Judging by your successes over the last 100 years, fighting is not your forte. After all, the wound is still there, as far as I know. So why are you here? If you have come to meddle in my affairs, don't expect me simply to stand aside.
Lol, l'ambiance est de la fête, parce que je vois. Qui d'autre est censé arriver? Kaylan peut-être? C'est vrai que je vois, c'est qui ce mec? Je me rappelle plus de quel dieu c'est. Je ne souhaite discuter avec aucune d'entre vous. Ouais, on va écouter.
Do you hear me, Nocticula? You and your servant are under no obligation to leave. I have come here to shed the light of truth. Let us see if you both can withstand its merciless radiance. I cannot change the flow of mortal history by force. After all, the world wound is their doing, although committed at the behest of the abyss. But sometimes force is unnecessary, and truthful words are all it takes.
Donc elle m'a reproché de filer un choix aux démons, et là, elle leur donne un choix. Et juste avant, elle disait qu'elle mentait pas. Il y a plein de paradoxes, il me dit au médaillé.
The goddess who was mortal not so long ago is eager to judge us for our sins now. My sin, to be precise. What lies behind your eagerness, proud Iomade? Righteous wrath, or perhaps fear? Watch out. A simple mortal woman has learned how to grant powers to others. Powers which are beyond the wildest dreams of many imperial lords. This must be stopped, forbidden, taken away immediately. After all, what need will we have for all these arrogant gods once we become their equals?
Oh, c'est toi, Jafar? Calife à la place du calife. Non, is no good.
Silence. It's impolite to interrupt your elders. But you know, Inheritor, she does have a point. What are you going to do now? Break my weapon, which has made so many victories possible, and only because he received that weapon from my profane hands, and the entire affair must therefore be profane also? What real reasons do you have? Save those born of your envy, your capriciousness, and your suspicions?
My reasons are quite real, as you well know. That is why you appeared here in such haste, is it not? You have woven a delicate lace of half-truths nocticula. From you and your servant, the Knight Commander has learned that he is bound to the world wound, that he is slowly dying because of its influence, and that he is yet capable of closing it. But you withheld a crucial piece of information. You never told him that closing the wound won't save him from death. For this lock will destroy the key to which it is bound. The one who closes the world wound will die along with it.
Ah bon.
That is true. I tried to tell you back in Illusionera, but I was not allowed to. It is an unavoidable consequence of this process. To stitch two planes together as I have stitched Golarion and the Abyss, the soul of a mortal must be woven with the essence of the Abyss. To undo this seam, the original soul, the key, must be ripped apart. No one could survive such a process.
Oh. En d'autres termes, dans un cas comme dans l'autre, je mourrais.
It is true. Now do you see the perils of accepting a demonic gift? No matter how much power the Abyss gives you, that power will always be tainted by lies and misfortune. This is the justice I promised you. The right to know the whole truth, and not to be a plaything in the hands of abyssal spawn.
Nocticula, avez-vous vraiment essayé de me dissimuler cette information?
Trying, you say? I successfully hid the truth from you for as long as I deemed necessary. Are you expecting me to explain myself? My goal is to close the world wound, not to grant you a happily ever after.
Et si je décide de rejeter ce pouvoir?
You will live.
You will lose everything that makes life worth living.
You will spoil a brilliant endeavor and destroy the lives of thousands of mortals who will be devoured by the legions of demons coming from the abyss. Aside from that, you won't do anything extraordinary at all.
Et si j'étais prêt à me sacrifier pour fermer la plaie du monde?
Oh, how noble! For a brief moment, I even felt some regret that we demons are incapable of such lovely things. You see now, inheritor? My little protege has more nobility in him than you expected. Shame on you.
This nobility is exactly why I came here. To help the Knight Commander learn the truth, and to show him that he has been used. Besides, I do not believe that you have been acting for selfless reasons, Lady in Shadow. Honesty and nobility have never counted among your virtues. You own the main source of Nahindrian crystals, and your servant Arilu has learned how to break the laws of the universe with their help. Can it be that the ruler of darkness and mistress of assassins has not conceived a way to use this formidable gift for her own benefit?
Accusations, suspicions, all completely hollow, just like your bright-eyed pretty little head. It's a pity you inherited Eridan's sword, but not his sharp mind. I have but one goal now, to stop the armies of that lecherous billy-goat and that gluttonous bug from strutting around my domain as if it were their own. I don't give a fig whether it will help mortals or hurt them. If the enemy of your enemy makes you a mutually beneficial proposition, you would have to be a complete idiot to say no.
Déesse, pouvez-vous m'aider à purifier mon âme de l'influence des abysses?
Arilu has planted a piece of the abyss itself in your soul. The only thing that can cleanse the soul of such a taint is that same soul. But I will be near. I will show you how to root out the demonic corruption. I am not a demon, and I do not offer any simple solutions. You will have to go your own way, no matter where it leads.
Eh bien, je commence à comprendre les règles de ce petit jeu.
Yes. The power that Nahindrian crystals grant you will bring about nothing but your own demise. The branches of the Tree of Sin are vast and verdant, but its only fruit is death. You will not be able to save yourself unless you reject everything that has been foisted upon you. Now you know everything.
No, we're not quite finished with the revelations yet. Few secrets remain to be revealed, but they will be worth the wait. Does this look familiar? Do you remember the similar wound above your own heart? I have given you enough hints. Come on, ask me the question I have been waiting for.
Ah, la sorcière révèle ce qui semblait comme dissimulé derrière un voile. Oh, et l'image a changé. Lol. Pourquoi faites-vous cela? Non, là, non, alors là, c'est un choix qu'on a. Donc on va faire le test des ressources. Heureusement qu'on a réussi celui-là. Parce que cette blessure, 29, on est foutu. Pareil, on est foutu. L'histoire de la création de la Plaie du Monde a toujours recelé quelque part d'ombre. Vos petites devinettes ne m'intéressent pas. Si vous avez quelque chose à dire, Harilou, dites-le, qu'on en finisse. Pourquoi faites-vous cela, Harilou? Non. C'est à vos petites expériences que je dois ma blessure, Harilou. Lorsque vous avez implanté l'essence des abysses dans mon âme afin d'étendre la plaie du monde. Je vous le demande donc, pourquoi avez-vous la même? Est-ce que vous avez utilisé votre propre âme pour servir de clé lors de l'ouverture de la plaie du monde? Mais oui, c'est vrai qu'elle a fait un test sur elle. Dans son labo, on avait vu une projection avec ça. C'est trop marrant ça. Dun 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 dun. Allez, 2.
That's right. And this means that the world wound actually has 2 keys.
Good question. Just imagine. I have wasted so much time chasing the key to the world wound, and the key was right under my nose this whole time. Arilu, my love, come over here.
Elle ne n'a rien d'une proie acculée, sans la moindre trace de peur, et vous adresse un léger signe de tête, puis d'un geste discret de la main, elle disparaît comme si elle n'avait jamais été là.
Wait, I said wait! That little bitch. I knew she would betray me sooner or later, but I never expected such an idiotic stunt. But everything seems to be falling into place quite nicely. You see, you don't have to die after all. Arilu opened the world wound, and Arilu will be the one who closes it, whether she likes it or not. Although, someone will need to catch her first, and this will require certain powers.
Mais elle vient d'essayer de nous sauver là, non? Ouais, elle vient de nous sauver en vrai, puisque... Enfin, nous sauver, en tout cas Ouais, de nous sauver, ou en tout cas de se vendre, comment dire. La Go, elle aurait pu très bien se taire, et puis personne ne serait au courant qu'elle a été une clé jusqu'à maintenant, en fait. Et moi, j'aurais été comme un couillon, mais non, elle a donné une solution alternative. Pourquoi? C'est une négneudeuse, là.
Yes, Arilu Vorlesh will pay for her crimes with her life. Her flight confirms that our suppositions were correct. But now we know that the world wound can be sealed with her blood. You have no reasons to remain indebted to the Abyss and indulge the Queen of the Succubi. Reject her gift and secure your victory while being the person you were before Arilu Vorlesh corrupted you. Win as a mortal and become a legend among mortals.
She's talking rubbish. True, we gave you the power, but it was you who chose how to wield it. It belongs to you, and it will remain yours, so you can do whatever you want with it. But first, you must use it to close the world wound. You aren't going to catch this world's most powerful witch, and a half-demon one at that, with your bare hands, are you?
Wesh, la façon dont elle parlait, c'était tellement trop en mode... Ah ouais, la meuf, elle a 3 queues, en fait. Attendant votre réponse, la déesse et le seigneur démon vous regardent avec intensité. Avant de prendre une décision, je voudrais poser quelques questions à Imudale.
Ask, and you shall have your answers.
Vos propres pouvoirs vous viennent de la pierre étoile. En quoi mon pouvoir est-il différent?
My ascension was not accomplished in one day, and even the test of the Starstone was only one of its stages. I did not merely gain power, I embraced a sacred duty. Your power, on the other hand, stems not from long hours of study, not from trials. It is not the natural talent you were born with and carefully honed throughout your life. It is the result of an evil soul's deranged experiment with the blood of dead abyssal lords.
Vous avez enfermé des légions d'anges dans la pierre de garde. Pourquoi?
Every one of my angels volunteered for that mission. They all knew what kind of watch they were going to keep. They knew that it would be a hard and exhausting battle, but that the lives of mortals throughout Golarion would depend on it. Alas, angels' minds can be as fragile as the minds of mortals. In less than 100 years, many wavered and wished to break the oath they had sworn. I do not blame them. I blame myself for allowing them to take on a burden that was too heavy for them.
Aviez-vous chargé votre héros de m'accompagner dans les abysses, ou est-il venu de son plein gré?
He acted on his own noble impulse, and I did not stop him. I also did not try to dispel his misconception
Donc
about
tu es capable de
you
mentir,
being my
encore une fois,
chosen
quoique.
one.
Bon,
I
non
do
sens
not
par omission.
lie, but both celestial beings and mortals can be mistaken.
Je viens d'admettre que
She
tu mens.
doesn't lie, sure. She merely withholds some of the truth, for the noblest of reasons, of
Lol.
course.
Savez-vous ce qui est advenu de votre héros?
My herald, my loyal companion, was captured, and now demons are using him to attack Drézen. They're holding him in the Ivory Labyrinth, Baphomet's realm of the Abyss. It is a place I cannot go. not even to save my faithful friend. For doing so would start an interplanar war. Right now, as we speak, Baphomet's servants are torturing the hand of the inheritor. Tormented and anguished, he reaches for you with his thoughts and his soul. I cannot tell if he sees you as a great unfulfilled hope or a last chance. But Baphomet knows well how to exploit such desperate yearning. He has turned my herald into a source of power to open temporary portals. They do not last long, but they lead from the dungeon where the hand of the inheritor suffers, right to your doorstep. Baphomet does not need to lead his armies through the rifts. Now he can send them right here. As long as my poor herald remains in the hands of that monster, this will not stop. I cannot say if it is still possible to save him, or if putting him out of his misery is the only way. I cannot openly ask you to intervene. But if you decide to do so, you will be helping both yourself and the one who chose the martyr's path when he followed you into the abyss.
Depuis que j'ai acquis ces pouvoirs, tout le monde est persuadé que je suis l'élu Diomédae. Pourquoi n'avez-vous rien fait pour dissiper ce malentendu?
At first, I did not know who you were, or where your powers originated. This was revealed to me only when my herald offered up his dying prayer from the depths of the abyss. And following his desperate plea, I sought to confirm my suspicions. Until that point, I had observed you without intervening. After all, your crusade was securing victories, the first Golarion had seen in many years, so even if it was not I who had sent you into battle, it felt unfair to undermine you.
In other words, our Imperial guest had no problem with your power, as long as she didn't know where it came from. She didn't even share her suspicions with her own herald. And after all that, someone dares to claim that demons are the most deceitful creatures?
You should not blame someone else if you base your accusations on vague suspicions rather than solid proof. You call my behavior deceitful. You, of all creatures, who kept the commander ignorant of the fate you had chosen for him? Indeed, the insolence of demons knows no bounds.
Un seigneur démon se tient là, juste devant vous. Pourquoi ne pas l'anéantir ici et maintenant? On connaît déjà la réponse, la guerre interplanaire.
I could, but then every other demon lord would decide that he or she was next and stand against me. In response to that, the Imperial lords would take up arms. Then hell, heaven, and Elysium would join the conflict. A war would break out, one which mortals could not hope to survive.
Pourquoi avez-vous décidé de rejoindre le monde des mortels à cet instant précis?
As I have already said, I am here to open your eyes to Nocticula's lies and to prevent more calamities in the future. You are at a crossroads now. I will not force you to do anything, but you needed to learn the truth and have the chance to cleanse yourself.
Pourquoi Arilu a-t-elle tout fait pour que l'on apprenne qu'elle était également une clé? Ça m'intrigue.
The impulses that drive a soul as black as hers are beyond my comprehension. Perhaps she was startled by my arrival and decided not to bother keeping a secret that was bound to be revealed. Or perhaps she is up to some cunning scheme. Be on your guard. The architect of the world wound will surely try to bring you down. For if she truly is a key, then it must mean that she will die sooner or later due to the influence of her own horrible creation. And that means that sacrificing you is her only chance of survival.
J'ai pas l'impression. Pourriez-vous m'expliquer de nouveau comment vous pouvez m'aider à me débarrasser de l'influence des abysses?
Arilu has planted a piece of the abyss itself in your soul. The only thing that can cleanse the soul of such a taint is that same soul. But I will be near.
Ok. J'ai pas d'autres questions. J'ai des questions à vous poser, Nocticula.